Hi everyone. How is everyone doing on this Tuesday morning? Well, I guess it's Tuesday afternoon now. We hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Maybe you missed us last week. We took a little week break from our last week's video, but we are back today and we are going to talk about the sensory system and how the sensory system impacts toileting behavior. Sometimes we have a lot of kids that come in and they're dealing with a lot of other things outside of, diet and constipation and pelvic floor, withholding, all of those things. And when we really dig into it, we realize that there might be a sensory processing challenge going on with the child. So we kind of made a list of some of the most common ones that we see in the clinic, and we're going to go through those and kind of give you some tips and tricks and ideas of how to help your child if this is something that you and your child are dealing with at home. So go ahead, Annette.
All right, so we made a list. The first one is the child doesn't necessarily like the feel of toilet paper on their bottom. So this is something we see, and a lot of times, the toilet paper's dry, it's rough. How much toilet paper do I use, right? How do I hold the toilet paper or fold it? So we love wet wipes, especially with the kids that are having stool issues. It's easy, it's quick. You can even get a wipe warmer if you want, and a bidet. Yeah. So people, those are coming in. Those are coming in style. They're big over in Europe, so that's another option too, to avoid the toilet paper issue.
And I know we've had kids that don't like the idea of wiping because they're afraid they're gonna touch poop on the toilet paper, right? So they can't even handle the idea of what if poop gets on my hand instead of on the toilet paper. So a wipe really does make all of those troubles go away if that's something your child is struggling with, and the bidet as well.
Okay, good. The child doesn't really notice when their underwear is wet or soiled. So these kids say they can't really feel or smell it. And this is more a problem with interoception. So this is how your body feels internally. So when you're hungry, how do you know you're hungry, right? You feel a growling in your stomach. You might hear the growling. So this is something we ask kids all the time. This is a big area that OTs work with. OTs are phenomenal with this. PTs can do it. Some are trained in it. So just something else to look for with that. There are kids that want to take off all their clothes before they go to the bathroom. And there are some that will only go in a pull-up or their underwear. We tend to see that more often, the kids that just will go in a pull-up or underwear, I should say diaper. Anyways, for those kids, a lot of them, they don't know any different than having that diaper on since birth. That's all they know. So they're used to that smushiness next to their butt and how do we get them out of this diaper? So one little trick we do is we'll have them go in the diaper still, but we try to get them to where they're sitting on the toilet. We'll cut a little hole in the bottom so that kid can kind of see the stool coming out. And then what I slowly do is make the hole bigger and bigger till eventually all I have is that band across their waist, snug, giving them that compression. And sometimes it's just that feeling of it that they're craving. So that's how we kind of get away from the diaper, and we just keep leaving that little band around it.
And if you have a kid that takes their clothes off to go, that's okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's not the worst thing that can happen.
Right,
yeah.
right. So just kind of manage that. They're not going to be taking their clothes off to go to the bathroom when they're a teenager in high school. That definitely won't happen, hopefully.
Just be happy they're going in the toilet.
Right, exactly right. So, don't get stressed out about that. Allow that to be whatever it is.
A lot of kids don't like the smell in the bathroom or the smell of poop or urine, and some kids will actually get a gag reflex from it. So we suggest candles in the bathroom, some scenty things. I mean, if it's really bad, you can even get that, that little scrub you put under the nose that has a scent to it before they go in. The kid just knows they put it on before they go in. This is a big one. Kids will say it hurts their bottom. They said it hurts when they're going to the bathroom. And when you keep picking at them to figure out why it hurts, here it's just the toilet seat. So the toilet seat's digging into their bottom. They don't like it. And I don't know, back when I was a kid, we always had those big cushy seats on them. I don't even remember what they were. And I think there's some with fur, weird stuff. But you can get a cushion seat or somehow find out where it's pushing on your child's bottom or just change the seat. Yeah. They're scared to flush the toilet or the loud hand dryers. So usually the flush, I mean, if you're at home, obviously, maybe they don't have to flush it. Maybe mom or dad will flush it, or someone else can flush it, a sibling. If you're out in public, everyone knows you put a little sticky note over the sensor before they go in. So the parent goes in first, puts a sticky note. So when the kid gets up, they're not like from the loud noise of the flush.
Wearing headphones too might be helpful, like noise canceling headphones if you're out. I know some families that deal with sensory issues carry those headphones all the time, so that might be another option.
That's really good. Yeah. Or listening to music in your own bathroom at home would be great.
Yep.
Good one.
Yeah.
All right. The lighting in the bathroom. So they say it's too dark or it's too bright. Man, there are so many reasons kids will come up with of why they can't go in the bathroom. So if it's too bright, you can dim it and put little twinkle lights. Make it pretty. Put some twinkle lights. And then if it's too dark, obviously adjust the lighting. I mean, that's a pretty easy one. They can't stand the sight of the stool. So this is a big, they're like, they don't want to see it. And my thing is, you're wiping yourself anyway. Just put a piece of toilet paper over it, right? Just, get some toilet paper, put it on top. Half the time when the parents go in to look at the stool for that Bristol scale, they're like, well, I couldn't see it because it was covered with toilet paper. So it was covered anyway. So I just tell the kids, well, you're wiping. Don't look before you wipe. Just put it in there.
Right.
And one more is that they don't like how the bathroom looks. Super easy to let your kid guide you. Let them be the one that picks out decorations. Decorate it. Who cares? There's a theme. Maybe they have a theme or a superhero they like, and just let them go crazy and have a good time with it. And heck, they might spend more time in there than after you're done with it. So
we were talking to, like, if there's something about the bathroom your child doesn't like, but maybe they have like a favorite stuffed animal or a favorite toy, that they can bring that into the bathroom with them as well to help them be, feel a little bit more comfortable in there.
That too, if you have one of those little potties too, they can bring the stuffed animal in and put their stuffed animal on the potty, and then they're going to the potty too. So they have somebody else going in there with them. And
that's so funny that you say that. My daughter this morning, she would die if she knew what I was going to say. She was going into the restroom this morning, and she brought her little doll in. She had a baby doll, and she has a baby doll potty.
That's great.
And she said, Mom, Everly, which is her baby doll's name, is going to go potty too. And she sat her little baby doll on the potty while she went.
She's going to kill you. She sees
this. But, that's just like one more way to make your child feel a little bit more comfortable in the bathroom. We did have a question come in. Let's just read that real quick. What about the connection with not feeling pee come out? Is that a sign of constipation and sensory issues with their voiding system? Good question. What do you think about that, Annette?
So if the pee's coming, if they're not feeling it, that's an internal sensation that they should be able to feel. I don't know that it necessarily has to do with constipation, because if they're going, but if they're not sensing it and feeling it internally, I would say that's more of like an interoception type thing.
Yeah, definitely. Good. So if you are out there and you have a child who's dealing with some of these sensory things, what should we do?
So sensory issues, I love our OTs, occupational therapists.
Yay.
This is their field. I say this is and sometimes when we talk to parents before we see the child, we get a little background on the child, and if we see like there's a lot of sensory, I'll ask them if they've seen an OT before, and sometimes I'll actually refer them to the OT first. And then after the OT's working with them, have them come see us. There are PTs also trained in some of this. It just depends. So you want to see, when you're searching for someone, ask them their background in sensory processing disorders and what they can do for that.
And we don't just have sensory issues relating to like the physical way we go to the bathroom, right? As a dietitian, sometimes we have kids that are picky eaters and they're constipated because they're not eating enough fruits and vegetables and drinking enough water. And when I work with some of these kids on their picky eating, I actually discover that they have an oral sensory challenge going on. So maybe your kid is adverse to certain textures or temperatures of food. Maybe your child pockets food in their cheek for a long time. Maybe they won't even touch certain textures. These are all signs for me that a child might have an oral sensory challenge. And there are feeding specialists out there. Sometimes they're dietitians. Most often they're occupational therapists. So I also have a very specific OT that I recommend oral sensory stuff kiddos to. And then sometimes it's just picky eating. And if you have a picky eater at home, we actually have some great help coming up for you. This Thursday, we have an awesome pediatric dietitian by the name of Karen Mountjoy, who works in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. She's coming to speak to the Constipation Crew, which is our private Facebook group. And she's going to be talking about picky eating and how to help your child be more accepting of new foods. So if this is something that you are struggling with at home, we would love to have you join the Constipation Crew for Thursday night at 8 p.m. We will link that down below so that you get all the information on how to sign up for that. But just remember, your child might be a picky eater, but they might also have oral sensory syndrome going on, and in that case would need an occupational therapist evaluation to determine that as well.
Then we see our OT
Our
is
favorite
watching.
OT is watching.
Kay Goodrich.
Kristen Goodrich is out there watching. Hi, thanks for joining us. We see a lot of other faces out there. Thank you for tuning in. As always, we are here for your questions and we want to help. If you need more help with your kiddo who is constipated, withholding, encopresis, enuresis, we have lots of ways to help. Our biggest way is through a virtual consult with us and or joining our Facebook group, the Constipation Crew, and that is a subscription membership. We are happy to say that our poop camp sold out. We'll be running another one soon. A question just came through. Should you wait to potty train until the constipation is better and under control? Ooh.
Absolutely.
Great question.
Yeah,
Thank you for asking us that.
Question. That is our number one thing. We always encourage parents to wait until the constipation is treated.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is it's just going to go back. You're going to drive yourself crazy, and you can't really potty train until the child understands and is past that.
Yeah.
But
I just had a client this morning and the mom is anxious to potty train, but the child is withholding. Yeah. And we said, until we get over that withholding behavior, we can't start potty training. We need to allow the child to get comfortable going in the diaper and overcome the withholding before we can move to the toilet. So that's an excellent question. And yes, please hold off on potty training if your child is struggling with constipation. Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you watching, and hopefully you're learning a thing about your child here and there. And we would love to hear from you, so drop us a comment below. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.